Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Robert with East Coast Sawing Design, and I'd like to do a little 2-month update on my Chinese Amazon router. So the brand one I've got specifically is a AVT Bessie. It was $91 Canadian shipped from Amazon. As you can see, it's very similar to the Makita Palm/trim router. Comes with a base, a 12-piece router bit set, and 2 different edge guides. The router bits are kind of junk. They're not really high-quality router bits, but surprisingly, the router itself has been holding up exceedingly well. As mentioned in a previous video, I had bought the router for my homemade slot mortiser, plans available on Izzy Swan's website. Because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on the project, I went with the Chinese knockoff palm router from Amazon, because it was about half the cost of getting a brand name Makita or otherwise. But I've used it quite a bit for both the slot mortiser and the just as a regular palm router. So far, what I've found in the 2 months I've been using it on and off, it's worked flawless every time. Starts up every time. The only thing of concern was right here is your bushing mount, your brush mounts, and I did notice a bit of burning carbon brush smell the first couple times I used it. It's been a while since I've had a brush tool, so I can't remember if that's normal or not. First couple times to use a tool. The only real negative I've found with the router is when you go to take the base off. So it's a snap, and then it's a rack and pinion for your fine adjustment. There's a little pin inside the casing right there that registers against the router body, this groove right here on the router body. I found that gets a little jammy sometimes when you want to put it back together. Just getting it perfectly aligned and straight does kind of get a little jammy until you get it in place, and then it's fine once it's on. As you can see, I have a 1/8 inch round over bit, or quarter inch round over bit, excuse me. So you can set my round overs about there. But otherwise, the router's been working pretty flawlessly since I've gotten it. I would like to upgrade the router base. It's a bit on the small side for some round over cuttings, but otherwise quite well. I'm going to do a quick round over for you guys just so you can see. If you really push it, it bogs down. I'm sure the brand name Makita or other brand name routers would do much better in terms of pushing on the machine. This is rated as 800 watts or about 1.25, but I'm sure it's less than the actual Makita's 1.25. So I just got some charcuterie boards I've been working on in white birch. And this is pretty typical of the kind of work I do, that I use the 1/4 inch round over, the 1/4 or even 1/2 inch round over bits on. So get you raised up a little bit so you can see a bit better. So here we go, quick little round over. Almost got my router set a little bit deep. I'm seeing a bit of an edge there, but that's fine. That'll come out sanding. It's kind of what I like the micro adjust for. It's really handy for getting just that air of adjustment. So as you can see, works just fine. Roundover produces, that is the Chinese bit that came with it. Works just fine. Zero complaints. I've done probably since October, probably about 20 charcuterie boards, cutting boards using this router. Plus I did a couple slot mortising operations, which I'm finding more uses for the slot mortiser than I previously thought. The last one I did was for the handle cutouts in a 24 by 24 ingrain board. The handle would be cut on the edge, so I used this to cut it on the slot mortiser with a 5/8 inch bit, and it worked perfectly fine. So, do I recommend an Amazon knockoff Chinese router? Absolutely. I've been absolutely pleased with this router. The performance has been excellent. I've had no case where I've thought, is this thing going to stop working? Is it going to bog out down? Is it going to burn out? No case where that happens. And it's been working every time I turn on the switch. Do I think that everybody's going to have this experience with a knockoff router? No. Chinese branded manufactured routers tend to have less quality control than big companies like Makita, Ridgid, Ryobi, Bosch, all the really big name brands. Do I think if you're a budget shop who uses a router once in a while is going to benefit from this? Absolutely. My thought process when I bought it was $91 taxes in to purchase this router. That's Canadian, by the way. To go buy the brand name Makita, Ridgid, Ryobi, Bosch, I'm sure I'm missing one or two. Skill has a palm router that's really nice. I'd be looking at about 185 to 195 Canadian for the same router. That's pick up in store or Amazon purchased or direct from tool manufacturers. So this was literally half the price of the brand name router. My thought process at the time was I was building this slot mortiser. I didn't want to spend that much on a router that was not going to see a lot of use, because at the time I had no intention of using this as a roundover router. But in saying that, it's come in very handy since, and I have zero regrets using it for the roundovers. I have a 2 horsepower Ridgid 1/2 inch collet, and that used to sit in a router table. Currently it has a flattening bit in it, and that's my workhorse. I know it works. So if this ever goes, I know I have another router that's perfectly suited to the task I'm wanting to use it for. But my experience with this little palm router has been exceedingly positive. So thank you for your time, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, want to learn more information about the products I use in my wood shop, more info about the router, drop me a line, subscribe, like the video, dislike the video if you don't like it. And happy holidays, everyone.